Would you believe someone who tells you that building a winning strategy is not so complicated as you may think? In my 15-year business life, I did it several times, and I know how it's tough and time-consuming to build a really great strategy that can help you to grow at least 1 million in size. Dmitry Bonder, and this is the channel for prospective business millionaires and everybody who want to make a fortune in a business. If you want to get a valuable business content, please consider to subscribe, click the thumb up, and I will give you a lot of very useful content. Let's go! Do you know what is it? This is a unicorn that I took from my daughter. And what is funny that everybody wants to be a business unicorn, the company with valuation above $1 billion. But we don't know, sometimes we don't know how to become a company with 1 million in income or in profit. So the problem with it that we cannot build a winning successful strategy. And today I highly recommend to check approach in a building successful strategy from Ag Lafley, ex-CEO of Procter Gamble, and I really like this book and all approach and the whole approach he described in this book because it's a very practical. That's what I'm looking for every time when I read any business books, and that's what I recommend for you. If you have a chance to buy this book on Amazon, I would recommend to do it. It's a very, very good investment of your money and time. There are plenty of books on Amazon, on other internet sellers, but the problem with all these books on strategy that they are very wordy and some of the approaches are very, very complicated that you cannot use without deep understanding of data, or you can lost in all this thinking that they describe in their books. But the book that was written by Ag Lafley, ex-CEO of Procter Gamble, is really good. Why? Okay, first of all, let me explain who's Ag Lafley. Ag Lafley is ex-CEO of Procter Gamble, and he became CEO twice. For the first time, he became CEO in 2001 to 2010, and then from 2011 to 2013. So at least you could be sure that twice he became a CEO and twice price of the shares increased significantly and he got approval from shareholders. So it means for us that he was very successful. At least that's what I'm looking in every book and in every example of business leaders. But when he came for the first time to Procter Gamble in 1977, he discovered an atmosphere of decision-making drift. The giant company wasn't very successful, and there was a lot of stupid decisions that shareholders and previous CEO made in this role. And first of all, he invited some guys like Michael Porter and some other really famous consultants, but unfortunately it didn't help company to improve general atmosphere and general business performance. So he decided, together with his friend Martin, he was a dean of Rotman School of Management, he decided to introduce a new strategic approach that helped their company, Procter Gamble, to get really great results in future. So they built a kind of robust strategic process for the company, and it gave a chance for Procter Gamble become really profitable in a coming next 10 years. So let's check what Martin and Ag Lafley uh, teach us in this book. If you want to build a successful strategy for your company, you have to make 5 strategic decisions. Let's talk about decisions very carefully and precisely. So the first question you have to ask, what is your winning aspiration? Companies that try to win in any professional areas or with any customers, they set themselves up to fail. It's impossible to win in every industry. So let's choose in what industry, in what professional area, in what product division would you like to be. You want to be a number one company. For example, in case of Procter Gamble, they wanted to introduce a kind of cosmetics for young ladies, and they want to build something so great that all ladies all over the world will admire. So that was their winning inspiration. That's what you have to find inside yourself or inside your founding company or your founding team. The second most important question: where will we play? You have to identify your target markets. You have to identify your distribution channels, maybe product groups, maybe some other limitations that you may have, because you will not be able to compete in every professional area or in every country. In case of Procter Gamble, they choose some specific markets where they would like to be number one. That's a kind of decision you have to make in the beginning when you're just building your strategy. The third very important question is how you will win. So let me give you an example. Let's imagine a situation that on my left hand there is a McDonald's, big, very famous company. On the other hand, there is a 3-star Michelin restaurant. So it's a very different business model, and you have to understand that they are using very different approaches. For example, in case of McDonald's, they are trying to attract entry-level employees. They're trying to teach them, and they understand that their competence are mainly in a process improvement, in a speed, how they make all these decisions, how they teach people, how they hire. On the other hand, 3-star Michelin restaurants, they have a very different approach. They are trying to attract the best in the world managers. They are trying to find the best chef in the world and pay the highest possible price, and maybe to have just 100 clients per month. It's a very, very different number from comparing to McDonald's. So they have a very different ways to compete, and you must understand that in your case you have to make these decisions. Would you like to be, cost effective? Would you like to be number one in hiring and teaching, or you will have other ways to compete and win? It's a critical decision you have to make. And the last but not least, what management systems are required to make this strategy successful? You have to develop the process inside of the company first to support and measure your strategy. And everybody in your company need to have very clear idea how to measure your strategy, how to measure their KPIs, how to check where they are, and it's all about systems that supports your strategy. In case of Procter Gamble, they introduced a kind of monthly and quarterly meetings where they can check how successful they introduced new products on new levels, and it was like a core, like a red line that was built in their company and their strategy. When you build your strategy, you have to check whether your strategy will be realistic. And Ag Lafley gave a clear step-by-step approach how to check your strategy. And let me explain how does it work. Alan provides a model that he called a strategy logic flow that you can use to evaluate your thinking behind your strategy with precision. So first of all, ask yourself how your rivals react on your strategy. Let's imagine that you see great business opportunities in selling selling some kind of fruits to Brazil, but you have to ask yourself, what will be reaction of your competitors on this market? Maybe you would like to introduce a new cosmetic business line in China, but there are plenty of different companies who are doing the same. So first of all, check based on your strategy what will be reaction of your competitors. The second step, ask and examine and consider your industry. You can find some other interesting clients group that you didn't discuss and you didn't consider before. And the last step, how you can check your strategy and how you can measure whether this strategy is realistic or not. You can use reverse engineering approach. What does it mean? You can ask yourself or the group of people in your team, what should happen to make it possible? So what should happen in environment, what should happen on the market, what should happen in a competitor's reaction to make this strategy realistic. And you will find a lot of different ideas. For example, let's say some competitors should wait and don't react in any way, but you understand that it would be not very possible, or the chances of it is very low. Or maybe you can think that to get such a big number of clients you have to rebuild the whole process of production, and you can check that you don't have enough capital for this. So that's the kind of approach they used in Procter Gamble, and I recommend to use for your companies if you want to check how realistic your strategy is. I hope you find this video helpful, and now you're ready to build strategy from the scratch. Please consider to subscribe, press thumb up, and I will shoot a lot of new videos for you, and we will talk about strategy, about tactics and other ways to build a 1 million business. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace out.